Hi, welcome back to Legal Quilts. Today was going to be an episode on tools you use in quilting, rulers, mats, rotary cutters, that sort of thing. But then Russia invaded Ukraine and I just couldn't do it. I had to do something else. Today we're going to do an applique quilt block in the colors of the Ukrainian flag. We've got a heart to show we stand with Ukraine in yellow from the flag, and we're going to applique it onto a blue background. Now what I also want to do is it'll be quilt as you go, so the appliquing will go through all the levels. So we've also got our batting and our backing in the same blue. So you just layer the backing down, you layer the batting on, then you layer your top color, your top piece that you're going to applique the heart on, and you center your heart. And I did this in batik, which I don't usually use. I'm not a big fan of batiks. It's okay that it's peeking out a little bit. That'll take care of itself later. And so you center your heart on there, and then you come over here to the sewing machine. You get to see my sewing machine, and we'll get that going. And I've got to get all my settings here, although you can just use a straight setting. I always forget which my applique setting is on my machine, because you want something a little special. There you go. You want 11, little wider stitching and stuff, but because you're going through 3 levels, you also want to loosen your tension a little bit. And then you just make sure your heart is all smooth on there. And I cut this heart using my handy dandy Cricut maker, which cuts fabric too. I use that for anything that's basically not a strip or a square, because it cuts it smoother and easier than me trying to trace it and cut it. You hear a little bit more about that in another episode. Press your foot down and go a little slower. You don't want to be going all nutso here. And you just get started. I'm using white thread because I'm only going to be making one of these blocks, and I don't want to have to change out the machine and then put it back in. So you just go around the outer edge of your heart. My heart, I cut it about 4.5 inches. I blew up the heart on pre-cut to about 4.5, and then I cut 6.5-inch blocks. Why do we always use 1/2 inches? Because you use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so you're losing on all sides 1/4 inch, which makes a total of 1/2 inch. So the finished size of the block, when I sew it together and sew it to others, whoops, there we go. It was folding over there. When you finish it, the finished blocks will be 6 inches by 6 inches, which is a pretty even block. Presser foot keeps grabbing the edge there. This happens. Just got to be patient. That's why I slowed it down a little bit. And you just go around and around. Which is the other reason I chose a slightly smaller block. It takes forever to go around the bigger pieces. This is just a really simple way to machine applique. I don't mind doing machine applique if it's going to be all the same color, or if you're going to be using larger pieces, because it takes, you don't want to be changing colors all the time in and out on your machine, but it does go faster than hand appliquing your mat. This is the raw edge rather than a turned edge technique. I like that because you just stick it on there and you go. And there we go. And it's all done. You pull it out, you snip all your threads, and don't forget to snip your threads on the back side. And you can see on the back side, you also have a nice little heart, but through all 3 layers, so you're already quilted. And there you have it. And then I'm going to bind, and then it'll either get sewn to other ones, And then all those will be bound together, or you can individually bind each one using a potholder method where you then sew the bindings together, which makes it a little easier. So, Ukraine, we stand strong with you, and we are thinking of you. Until next time.